Well, next up, the Triumph Triple Challenge again here at Brands Hatch, and there the view back to the grid. You can't see it, can you? It's down the dip. There they are. Unfortunately, no pole position man, Reese Rothwell, having to pull off on the warm-up lap, leaving Scott Rowbottom, Tim Venables and Josh Wainwright on that front row. Great shame for Reese. Bike obviously not feeling particularly good after he's off in the earlier race. But away they come. Up that sharp rise into the top of Paddock Hill Bend. And there, look at that blind entry. You can't see anything at the bottom of the hill as you get on the power down it. And there's Scott Rowbottom showing first. Tim Venables in second place as they run around Druids. Jack Sim slotting into third on the run down to Graham Hill Bend and looking up the inside there. Can't quite find a way through. And away they go. Down Cooper Straight, and Josh Wainwright will be very pleased to have at least done that straight once on board. Scott Rowbottom looking very good at the front. Tim Venables there and running wide at the front. Ben Katie, just an absolutely brilliant start for Ben. Well, we'll see if he can keep that up for the rest of the race. But Scott Rowbottom and Tim Venables with Jack Sim just looking to run down the inside into paddock that time. So as the rear of the field goes in, yes, it is Jack Sim up into second, but he runs wide in turn on the run into Druids, and that'll give an opportunity to Tim Venables, and Tim says, thanks very much, bud, here I come. There we see in, well, fifth position there is still Ben Cater, so making the best of that good start, and there Ben being chased by Mark Kringle, who's in turn being followed by Mark Cheetham. There we see Ben Cater and Lance Carey just ahead of him in fourth, then Jack Sim. Mark Cheetham working hard there, second of the TTG Cup runners. Jack Sim, of course, leading as far as this race is concerned at the moment in the TTG Cup. And Josh Wainwright, the gold wheels, still on board. I should imagine, I reckon, still feeling a little shaken up after that earlier off. Did get a bang on the leg. Scott Rowbottom. Well, now, what's going through Scotty's mind? He got to the front in the earlier race. He led beautifully, and then all on his own chucked it up the road at Druids. He's out the front again. He would just love to stay on board and see the checker flag first at the end of this one. And there, Tim Venables. Well, he had the taste of the glory earlier, and he'd like to match that again. Lance Carey having a sniff there, just looking at the inside as Jack Sim runs off clearways. But Jack, I think, maintaining that third place, chasing hard after Tim. And up into Druids. There we see Jack Sim just easing ahead of Tim Venables there. And on the back of that group, we can see David Jones. David, well, hopefully he'll be carrying the Ariston onboard camera when we see the next rounds. David has been taking in a few 600 races, something that a number of these riders have been doing to get a bit of more mileage under their belts. Jack Sim, leading TTG Cup runner out there at the moment in second place, being chased hard by Tim Venables. And Lance Carey, look at him, absolutely wrestling that bike off clearways, trying to get a decent inside run up there into Paddock Hill Bend. He does, but, well, Mark Kringle, in fact, closing on him. Mark taking a wider line through Paddock Hill Bend, and well, Lance Carey moving across, and there, Tim Venables having back at Jack Sim. Jack losing out this time, those two swapping positions seemingly every lap, and Josh Wainwright, well, in the mix there, unable at the moment to squeeze away past the two marks, Cheetham and Kringle. And up the front, just praying that this isn't a repeat of the earlier race. Scott Rowbottom leading well there. Mark Cheetham leading that TTG Cup Championship points table at the moment. But Jack Sim determined to take it off him. And there Jack is in third place, leading his section of the championship in this race. And good run there into Druids. Well, Mark Kringle almost outdid number 10, Lance Carey, but Lance just holding his line. And whoa, look at that, letting it run on the brakes, going down into Graham Hill Bend, closing up mightily on Jack Sim. And bringing Mark Kringle, in fact, nobody really being dropped in that leading group. Indeed, The leading group closing in. Well, certainly in the case of Tim Venables, he's put in a couple of really scorching laps and he's closing down on Scott Rowbottom for the lead. Then there's a 5 odd minute in the bum fight behind, but look at this. There's Rowbottom and Venables coming at him. There was all big twitch there from Mark Kringle, with Mark Cheetham tucked in behind as they run down through Paddock Hill Bend, but up the front, Rowbottom and Venables. Then Jack Sim, Lance Carey. Down through Druids they run, and Tim Venables, well, he's worked hard to pull away from that pursuing group, and there we see Josh Wainwright just on the tail of the chasers. Tim Venables, yes, he's put the hard work in and he's getting right up with Scott Rowbottom, but Scotty, he will be concentrating so hard. No mistakes for him in this one, please, he says, as there we see Richard Green once again just ahead of Ricky Chadwick as they were in the earlier race. Richard still recovering from that big off at Cadwell a few months ago when he suffered a bad break of his arm. And the leaders at Druids, there, the pursuing group. And down to Graham. Oh, and there, Adam Parsons just dumping it. Yeah, he's waving. Yeah, it's downhill, mate. That one stranded. Adam got up and walked away, thank goodness. Round at Clearways. Scott Rowbottom, and there, Tim Venables. He's working as hard as you like, but still can't quite get up alongside Scott. And there we see Josh Wainwright pursuing the two marks as towards us they come. Paddock Hill Bend once again, and once again Tim Venables working his way down through the gears, trying to get in touch with Scott Rowbottom. We've got a couple of slow machines to deal with before the end of this. They're on their last lap now, so round about half a lap to go as they come down towards Graham Hill Bend. Well, will back markers come into the mix? There's Jack Sims, still the leading TGG Cup runner, chased by Lance Carey, Mark Kringle and Mark Cheetham. Along Cooper Straight, but up the front, well, the slower runner, in fact, pulling well out of the way. He's not going to interfere with that lead battle. And Scott Rowbottom, well, he binned it from the lead earlier, but this time he stayed glued. There we see the five-way battle behind, but the checker flag being made ready. And this time the win will go to number 14, Scott Rowbottom. He loves that. From Tim Venables and Jack Sim taking the flag in third place. So behind Scott, Tim and Jack, Lance Carey was fourth, Mark Kringle fifth, and Mark Cheetham finished in sixth.